Okay, I think I need to sit there. Jack, sit down, sit down. Hi and welcome to Wrong Dreams, EFAM. And today we're going to talk about all of the new wheels coming up end of this year and next year. Total of, I think, 8 wheels we're going to talk about.
Or 9 or something around there.
Plus the K6. So we have Jack here, Electric Dreams, so subscribe to his channel, and Albert, EFAM, EUC, also subscribe to his channel. We're recording this a second time because the first time I didn't turn on the microphones.
You f***ed up.
Let me tell you more about it. Right, so here we have a list of all of those new wheels coming up. In general, we are semi-hyped about it because we just learned our lessons throughout history. It just turns out that the wheels that we hyped up for are not that hypey after all once we get them.
Be excited, but not too excited.
Do you want to put your mic closer?
Yeah,
Do you want a spatula?
I have just one spatula.
Chopstick? Fork?
I have a chopstick, but I can hold it, Jack. It's all right. Perfect. Anyways, first on the list we have the InMotion V13, and we have a couple videos.
So we're gonna put the videos and the media content that we're looking at onto here, so you guys can see what we're talking about.
First, super high performance wheel by InMotion.
Yes.
126 volt. Here we have the specs. 140 km/h free spin.
They skipped the popular 20.
Yeah, 22
They
inch.
skipped the popular 20 is like the undisputed size.
No, it is, but I think as you get into the higher speeds, the bigger wheel provides that extra stability.
That's true.
But it's interesting. We're getting into the time where it's like we're about to get into where we ride 22s.
Yes.
It's untouched territory.
Well, I mean, the Abrams is 22.
And the Monster V3 was 22.
Yeah, but the Monster, no one really likes it.
NANI?
You know, very few people like it.
It was fine, but it was expensive.
It was also a niche wheel at the time, because you talk about the Monster V3 or whatever. It didn't have a crazy big battery. It didn't have crazy big voltage, right? It was 84 volt.
It wasn't crazy fast.
It wasn't crazy fast, but you had a big package. Whereas you could get that same performance out of an 18XL or whatever other wheel you could get.
MSX 100 volt at that time.
Yeah.
But anyways, going back to V13, 4.5 kilowatts nominal power, 10 kilowatts peak power, and 300 newton meters, and just a 3 kilowatt hour battery, pretty much the size of a Sherman, also same or similar batteries.
126 volt.
But 126 volts, so that's different.
Don't forget, the most important thing that InMotion wants you to talk about, it's the heaviest motor they've ever made.
To produce such an amount of power, the motor is much heavier than all of its counterparts in the market.
Because having a heavy motor is bad. It's just plain not a good feature. You know, the weight to performance ratio goes down.
The power to weight ratio.
Power to weight ratio. You have more unsprung mass. And when we were recording the first take, we were talking that, the V11 had a lot of unsprung weight because the suspension was sort of bouncing with the wheel and the motherboard and everything. Probably the motor of the V13 will be as heavy. So it will really depend on the suspension here and if it has rebounds, if it will be good.
It's quad piston, so 2 on each side as well.
But still no rebound dampening, from what I've heard.
Yep.
So it's still not a great suspension regardless.
Yeah.
So
it's good until you bottom it out.
Yes. Or you go to a bump. As I said, the V11 is really good until you hit a bump that's bigger than its suspension travel. Yeah. And that is when you start flying.
Yeah, that's where you launch.
So we'll see if they use the same charge port as the S22.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But overall, we're concerned about, I think as a unit, we're all concerned about the complexity and what they've tried to achieve with the V12. And whether it's high speed or high torque, we're still kind of in that phase where it's not the new motherboards that they've sent out. We don't know if it's 100% yet. People are starting to get them, starting to put it on their wheels. It's concerning, right?
Yeah.
It's concerning. So...
Yeah, because it has, 42, 44, we don't know.
40-some MOSFETs.
So, at many capacitors.
18 capacitors.
And they...
Not redundant.
On the V12, we had problems first with the MOSFETs and then just with the software, then heat dissipation on the V12. I fell twice because of the software problems. So if you have software problems and so much complexity in your wheel, it might go wrong, but might be also right.
Applause for to InMotion for like really finally making their first high performance wheel.
Yeah,
it's been a minute, and they have that metal frame on there, so they're really like. They did do some market research, and they are catering to what people want in this community. Better late than never. Better late than never. So yeah. Current official spec sheet is 90 right now.
Yeah, correct.
So they're capped at 90.
Yeah.
Which is still plenty fast.
Oh, it's still plenty fast. But then you also hit this other problem. So, like, for example, the Master. If I ride it nice and easy, you get really good range, like 60, 70 kilometers.
Easy.
But if I'm going 75 or 80 kilometers an hour, that battery is going to drain in 30 kilometers. Mm-hmm. And with this having only a 3 kilowatt hour battery, and you can go almost 100 kilometers an hour, I'd like to see where that range will be.
You'll go around the block, and you'll have to come back and turn.
I think also up to like probably 90% battery, you'll be able to go that fast, and then we'll just limit you. But you also explained really well what it's like with the having that many parts. So with electronic binning, there's a certain percentage for component failure. And it's really luck of the draw because they can't really test all the transistors, all the MOSFETs, and see what is working and what is not before they quality bin. And as you have so many components onto one control board, unless InMotion says there's some redundancy in their MOSFETs or in their capacitors, I am still going to work on the assumption that if you lose one or two capacitors, that wheel is not going to operate. And so now the probability has stacked that the more components you have, the higher probability of a bad component you can have. Yeah.
So you got to be very careful with that.
Or the component getting damaged during using the wheel.
That's correct too.
So that's a concern.
So overall, V13, right?
We gotta see. Wait and see.
Yeah. So
and hopefully not see and fall.
Most expensive wheel as well.
Yes, most expensive
wheel that is, I think. I mean, we're gonna talk about the Master Pro later.
Yeah, that'll be later.
But is that more expensive?
It's $100 cheaper.
It's $100 cheaper for 1,800 watt hours more.
Yeah,
and 134 volt.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, if you're an InMotion lover, that's not kind of wrong, but if you like InMotion wheels,
if you love to be in motion,
I kind of set this one up. Then just be careful, play it by ear, and just pay attention to what everyone's saying about their products when they do get it. So yeah,
then they do have that pre-order discount, which is really good for the batch 1 wheels. However, I will say I would still wait and see, because pre-order pricing or not, it's still an expensive wheel.
Okay, here's the thing: when no one buys the V13, it won't matter about the retail price, because they'll have to drop the price.
That's true too.
To try to sell the product.
Yeah.
And as far as I can see, that six grand price with the current lineup of wheels that are coming out will not stay. There's no way. I don't see people paying 6 grand. 6 grand Canadian, sorry, right?
Yeah, 6 grand Canadian. We're talking Canadian dollars today.
Yes. Okay, next wheel.
Anyways, so we have the Veteran Sherman S next in line. So the new Veteran suspension wheel, 100 volt,
3600 watt hour.
But 24 MOSFET, so much more powerful than the Sherman, and a good suspension.
Fast Ace.
Fast Ace, right?
Yeah, so they partner with Fast Ace suspension, which is really nice. I think it's a good step, just because, as we can see, Begode, the shocks, they started out really terrible. They've gotten a little bit better, but we still have bottoming out problems on bigger jumps.
It still leaks air.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people are pumping to 400 PSI. I'm unsure if that shock is designed for 400.
Yeah.
Probably not. But people are buying air shocks that pump to 400 PSI so that they don't bottom out. And then when they don't bottom out, the air doesn't leak. Because
but that's
when you
also...
do bottom out, you lose half your chamber, basically.
But that's also geometry that Begode just didn't...
utilize the whole travel.
Yeah, so here in the Sherman S, we have also something totally different. We have just a tube, sort of like
similar
in
the
V11 or V13.
Or V13, yeah.
So that's really cool that they have this cooperation going for them.
So the Sherman is a little bit harder to keep up because there's videos here and there. So we'll link it and we'll post it in the video, but. You do have to do a little bit more digging around to find the features of the Sherman S. It's like a metallic construction. So rather than having metal roll cage around it, it's the construction itself is made of metal, right?
Yeah, Yeah. Magnesium is really light though, so it's not going to be like an EX20 type of weight.
Yeah.
However, it is expensive. So if you do crack your shell, getting a replacement shell,
plastic,
instead of
bending your roll cage back.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of like a $10 to $50 shell, you might be talking about like $100 side panel for that magnesium alloy.
18-watt headlight, external buzzer, supports up to 15 amp charging.
So more than the Sherman Max.
PU phone,
new type of trolley
handle, and then
I guess that's a lift switch.
I don't know what the
I
paddle.
think it's a lift switch.
They had the pedal switch. I don't know if that's for the foot plates or
Maybe I think they're trying to say pedal switch or
pedal.
Yeah, maybe pedal.
The
that they also go out.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's what they mean. Not really sure if that's useful.
But
by the way.
they used the wrong.
So the only thing too is like it's a little bit better than the Sherman Max, where it says like what increased speed by 5% and torque by 8%.
Yeah.
But those are not mind blowing numbers. Like those are like Apple S, like year over year S upgrades. You know.
We've reinvented the iPhone.
The battery is now 10% better.
The best iPhone yet.
The Sherman is S. We also were talking before about the sort of top of the wheel. It doesn't look very ergonomic. So, there might be parts that will be hitting against your knee or in general, it just doesn't give me the vibe that it's like shaped towards your leg.
It does have a new display. They're not using the same display as the Sherman Max.
It does look good when going upstairs though.
Yeah, it looks good.
It doesn't look that pogo-y, but again...
It looks good, but it actually doesn't look like he has that much travel either.
True.
When he was going down the stairs.
That might be actually not a bad thing, because for now we had only like big suspension travel wheels.
Yes.
So maybe like less travel but really stiff might be a cool option.
Yeah. You mean like riding the bump stops on the S22?
Yes.
Amazing suspension.
I think it's a 2-inch bump stop that a lot of people love to ride.
You say that, and then you literally put bump stops on your Master.
That's because I don't want to hear the clunk anymore.
He put the T4 bump stops on the Master. I think there's a couple of like features. Obviously, this wheel is made of metal. The handlebar is like the entire top part of the wheel, and then the footplate or the pedals, they adjust for lengthwise.
Yeah, lengthwise.
And also they click into place as you're holding it up, because people have Grizzlies and Novas or whatever, so they can't put their pedals all the way up. So they want to keep it as small profile as possible. So with this clicking in place,
it allows you it's kind of like a car door where you can set your car door in different positions and it'll stay there.
Yeah.
But I still think that over time that can wear down. And so maybe it's an added complexity that's not needed. I still prefer the Begode way, which is the grub screw, which if it gets loose, you can tighten it. And then it's kind of like a Rolls Royce door where you can put it in any position you want based on the pad that you have.
I haven't seen the screw on the Begode work all that well though. Like
it works pretty well. You might have to tighten it every so often.
I think it also depended on the wheel. On some wheels it worked better, like they put it in a better place, and in some worse. I think on the Master it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So we have a couple more videos. We have a rim strength video where they show that the rim bends after
3 hits.
After 3 hits.
I don't know if that was the purpose of the video, but I mean, okay, there
it looks a bit better though.
If you guys aren't in the Broken Veteran Sherman Rim Club, join up, because
was it like BVSR?
It's a very complicated acronym, but yeah. I mean, I've broken I think 3 rims. Everyone pretty much has if you've owned a veteran Sherman.
I shattered my rim on a pothole.
I just broke the rim on the Abrams. I didn't break on a Sherman.
Yeah, but
it's
not the best rim quality. So it's good that you can tell by the video, even though they broke their rim after like the 3rd, 4th hit.
Yeah.
That they know that this is a problem. They're addressing it. They're doing their best to address it.
Yes.
So let's sum up the Sherman S. Are we excited? Are we?
I think it's a good iterative wheel, and the fast A suspension is a good step to try. Right.
Yes.
But if you look at the whole package, from my own perspective, you look at the whole package with regards to price, I don't know whether it'll still be competitive in the end of 2022 to the beginning of 2023.
Right. For me, like, it really depends on the reliability, and Sherman Max and Sherman have proven themselves sort of to be a very reliable and waterproof wheel. So if they hit those 2 elements, waterproofing, water resistance, and reliability, and just good ride, in terms of performance, it should be better than Sherman Max because it has twice the MOSFETs. then it just might be a good product. Like, I know there's many wheels coming out now with more volts, faster speeds, maybe more performance. But I think if they just do this right, it might be really competitive. And, it will also depend on the price, of course, Because if you will have it at the price of the Master Pro with, more battery, then might be a bit more of a tough sell. But I know that people really crave this, durability and good water resistance. So if they hit that right, might be cool. But yeah.
The Sherman Max is what, like 5,000 Canadian right now? And the Master Pro is 5,900 Canadian.
Yeah.
So if you add a suspension onto the Sherman Max, and let's say you add a couple $100, you're around the $5,500 mark already.
Right.
And is at $5,500 next year, March, will it still be competitive is the question.
Yeah.
I'm more excited than the V13.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
But
naturally.
The V13 is very hesitant.
I'm not like, oh my god, I'm going to put my pre-order down right now. I'm not buy it. But, yeah.
So that's that, I guess.
Commander?
Yeah, let's talk about Commander.
The sister wheel looks very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar specs.
So it's the Commander Pro. It's basically the Commander with suspension is, in short, what it is. 3,600 watt hours, 100 volt, 3,500 watt high-speed motor, central damping system, magnesium alloy lightweight side plate.
Same material.
Same
So
materials.
there's a few concerns of this wheel, even with the trolley handle too. Where it's, again, the top piece, where this wheel looks like it's very similar to the Sherman S.
Yeah.
And we've seen some arguments about it on the Facebook. The company's kind of going at it, but is there anything to be excited about on this wheel? Really, I mean, it's a Commander with.
Especially if it's a high-speed motor, then the Sherman's going to have more torque and more speed than that.
For sure.
I mean,
For
Adam
sure,
said
man.
there's RGB on these pedals?
Yes, I think that's the selling point. Yeah, there's the honeycomb pedals. They're like see-through.
Yep.
And you have RGB in them.
But you can install those pedals on your Sherman
where's
S.
the
No,
batteries?
that doesn't
Where are
work.
the batteries?
Of course not, no.
Where are the batteries for them? Was it just like one of those circular batteries?
I don't really know.
Those look like Begode.
It's probably like a 2032 CR battery or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Performance will be worse than Sherman.
So again, sorry.
Yeah, performance will be worse. Safety probably also a bit worse. We'll see about the suspension.
So the Commander.
No, if it will be cheap, that will be a good sell, but it won't be cheap.
It won't be cheap.
Yeah, because the Commander sold really well. Even when I was at San Fran, a lot of people rode or owned the Commander because it was the highest capacity wheel you could buy. Despite it being expensive, people who had the money for it bought it. And
Before the Max.
Before the Max
came out, yeah.
So now that we have all these different options, we even have a wheel that's 4,800 watt hours that we're going to talk about later. This doesn't seem so exciting anymore. And
Well, you have to understand too, the
Commanders-
Commander high speed had a huge overheating problems.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
the worst overheating
That's
I've
true.
ever seen in any wheel.
That's true. And people who do trails, they can't have a high-speed wheel. You have to have either high torque or high torque at 134 volts.
Yeah.
Like, we were doing off-road recently with Jack on EXNs, and I had a Sherman Max, and they were just suffering so much.
Yeah.
They're like overheating 5 times while I could just, zip up the hill.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Commander Pro, meh.
Not that exciting.
Meh.
Lower than V13.
Yeah.
Which is a hard bar to set, to be honest.
I think the Commander Pro is like at the very bottom. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any wheel.
Are there any other?
I think we're floored.
Yeah, I would
Oh wait, no,
say-
maybe the Master X.
We'll see.
No.
No.
It has more volts.
That's true. That's true. So yeah, okay, they're floored. Commander Pro is the bottom of the list.
All right, so now we'll talk.
Nice.
So now we will talk about the new Kingsong 16-inch wheel. Not really much info about it on the internet. Not much info from Kingsong. All that I know is I saw the render a long time ago and it looked very cool. And probably Jack knows more about it.
Yeah, so helped work on it a little bit, but our main focus during that time was to work on the S22. Through the concept designs, the wheel looked very promising. It looked very cool. We had many concepts and then we decided on one, and then I've tested the framework of it, of its early days. So not at all what it's going to be probably in the final product, but just the way the suspension works. Interesting product. Again, probably going to be the most attractive looking 16-inch wheel if it holds up to its concept design.
Well, I mean, Kingsong has never failed us on wheel design.
Yeah. So
The
they've
S18,
done a very good
the
job so
S22, they've all been really pretty wheels.
I don't know.
So people can it's personal preference, but generally speaking, from what I've seen, is that Kingsong has brought in a lot of new riders into the EUC scene because wheels don't look like Begodes anymore.
Well, they don't look like suitcases.
Like the
Yeah.
old Begodes, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, so I'd say just if you're looking for a 16-inch wheel, the T4 is a very good option. I mean, we talked about working on it, like, what is it, like last year? It was supposed to launch sometime last year, but things got pushed back. I guess there's things happening within the company, so I guess maybe this year, maybe we'll hear something from Kingsong this year, but wouldn't hold your breath
All right.
for it, so is my conclusion. Yeah.
Right, so
T4 is the...
let's go to the Begodes.
Yeah, oh, we didn't talk about this. So, so T4 is...
But
the-
wait. Begode, just as a quick reminder, Begode made like 6 wheel announcements in a very short time and made like all of their prior products obsolete pretty much. So
Yeah.
They literally just refreshed the whole lineup except for the MCM line.
yeah, which
But-
probably will be also
coming.
refreshed. Yeah.
But Albert, you want to give us what'd you see? What did you see?
So anybody who buys a recent Begode wheel, if you look at the certificate of authenticity, that piece of paper actually also states an MCM6.
Oh, that was stating that for a while already.
Oh, was
though.
it?
Yeah. I saw
Oh,
it
okay.
like a year ago.
And the M10-4 on there
Yeah,
too?
and Nicola too.
Oh yeah, so maybe they are coming.
I don't know. Would be cool though. Anyways, what should we start with? The T4?
T4.
Yeah, T4.
T4
Adam's,
there? I think it's here, right beside me.
Here. Oh yeah, there's T4.
It's really
But
muddy, really dirty.
Adam's been on it for a while. I've ridden it a decent amount.
It's
Not
been
around
great.
the block.
It's been great. Like just from riding, it's pretty awesome. Like just for like most people, I think it has the most like well-rounded performance for like city riding because it doesn't get hot when doing trails, and we were doing really nasty trails in Squamish. That's why I have my knee a bit infected now. But it was actually running cooler than the Masters.
Yes.
10 degrees too.
So it's I think it's fun in a different way because when Adam's going through the trails, there's parts where he had to jump over.
Yeah.
And for me, because I was on the Master, I could just ride over.
Yeah.
So it's still doable with the T4, absolutely. But you just have to ride it in a different way.
Yeah.
It's a different style of riding.
Yeah.
It's super nimble in the city. Like the 16-inch tire works well. Top speed is like 60 something kilometers an hour, so also plenty of headroom and still a lot of torque. I think it's slightly more torque than the Nikola. So like for most people, I think that's
And you have a review coming out still, right? So you did
exactly.
the like first impressions video, and then you'll have a review coming out. That's kind of
Well, we did a 6 kilometer hiking trail up to the trail that we were going to ride down, and the T4 had 0 problems.
Yeah, it was
It was a
running
good wheel.
cool.
Yeah, it's a
Like
good
the
wheel.
motor was cool to the touch.
Yeah.
Weird thing is that like with the Master, one of the most fragile parts is the rear taillight.
Yeah.
And they're like, how do we fix this? And then they put 2 vertical. I was just like, what? You just made it like
Worse.
But it's a better taillight. It's
They're
more
easier
visible.
to replace.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah,
They got it's like subscription.
Yes.
The Go should just have a subscription service for their parts.
Yeah.
but yeah, T4 anyways. Nothing to complain
good
about
wheel.
yet.
Watch Adam's video when he rode it through the Squamish trails. It's like a follow along video.
And I think if you want to compare it to like that whole mid-tier level, so you have like the V12, S18, V11 I could put in there as well. In that mid-tier level, when the T4 comes out in large numbers, I think it would take over that mid-tier level.
It's
That's
also-
exactly what I'm thinking.
It's also great bang for buck, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's the same price as a V12.
When it came out, I was like, "Whoa, really?
Yeah.
That cheap for a suspension wheel?"
Yeah,
And it's a proven product because they're using the same
100-volt architecture.
100-volt architecture. So
Just a question about battery safety.
but that's Begode.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. M104.
M10-4.
Okay, wait, T4. We're already ridden it. Still excited about it.
There will be maybe T4 HT coming.
Maybe. There's
yes.
rumors.
That's my dream wheel.
Because there's a few people like yourself and
Yeah.
who want a high torque version, but I don't know. I think 16-inch wheels are torquey enough.
I think it will be like popular as an MSX.
Yeah, as I think it's going to become the next Commonwealth wheel.
I think
The Sherman S. Sherman S is just iterative.
It's the VW.
Is it recording?
Yeah. M10-4.
Oh wait, we didn't rank it.
Yeah, so I think for me personally, I think the T4 because of the price point and what you get for that price point, I think the value is higher than the Sherman S.
Yeah.
Because the Sherman S is a bit of an iterative wheel. So the T4, I think, has the potential to take over that mid-tier section.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, I've tried the V11 before, and sort of everything in this price range. What V11, 16X, V12, RS, S18.
18, that's what it was.
S18. So this sort of has all of the features packed, and it has suspension, and it's not that expensive, and it has decent performance and like pretty okay features and a seat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think once people like try it and it doesn't like come out as faulty or dangerous, then yeah, I think it might catch on like the MSX years before, like like the Tesla Model 3 became the Toyota Camry in California. Now let's talk about trains. What became a popular train? I don't know.
But
The Honda Accord of EUCs.
No, I just don't want to talk about cars.
Considering everything, like all the excitement that I've had for the T4 before getting it, and
Yeah.
even now when I see a T4, I'm just like, it's a good wheel. I'm happy with it, so I still rank it very, very high. In our list right now.
It's quite-
like
yeah.
It's like the highest right now of all the wheels that we've
Wow.
So that we talked about. Yeah,
that we've talked about.
Yeah.
But let's go talk about the next one, the M10-4.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love the M10.
It's so freaking cute.
It's so small.
Actually,
That's what she
we're going to EVs later, so I think Bradley's will probably have the M10-4 there. I really want to see it in person.
Yeah, probably with there.
I'm more excited about the new category in amped electric games, M10-4 bowling.
Everyone has to shoot it between Adam's legs and then make his other knee inflamed.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, so let's talk about. Can we open up the?
Yeah, the spec sheet.
Also, the funniest. Begode does funny shit, but they don't know, right?
They're not
Like
aware.
when they do the
water test on the
water
Master.
test that I made fun of, and then this like they're just shooting this freaking wheel everywhere. They're just launching. They're full sending it.
Yeah, I love the headlight though. It's so fun.
So it's how would you say it? It's like steampunk, cyber-ish design, right?
Yeah,
I would
which
even
is
say it
really
has like
cool.
Ionic 5 elements, you know?
Why do you think people are so excited about the M10-4, M10-3?
Because it's cute.
I think it's like the thing with the M10-3 was there was quite a bit of issues with it. I think like at least if you're like a grown human being using it. So small foot plates, problems at least in my region with tubes or with tires deflating by themselves, small pedal hangers, axles breaking. So it was really, I think, just a small wheel for a child. And this seems to be an like actual wheel that you might actually use.
It's only 1 inch bigger, and that's only because of the tire.
No, but I think the M10-3, I think you're right. The biggest problem was the axle.
Yeah.
So you can break axles very easily.
So let's talk about the axle.
And it's a bigger battery too. It's 750 watt hours.
The axle is still the same size though, but
Is it?
yes.
Is it the same size?
Well, then that's a problem.
Yeah, the axle is still the same size to my knowledge.
No, but it also depends on the size of the hole
No.
where they pull the cables out of.
No, so let me tell you. So, as law has I may be wrong, we'll find out, but I'm pretty sure the axle is the same size. I'm like 90% sure. But the orientation is different. So rather than the flat facing it's like vertical now.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like vertical so it can bear more weight.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Well, the part of the axle that's weak is not just because of the size of the axle, but also because the hole where they feed the wires through used to be really big. And so the actual amount of metal on the wire side of the axle is very small.
I've never had an issue with my axle on the M10, but it's not.
You're not riding hard enough.
I mean, yeah, just don't crash.
I think it's just cool, like, to have a very, very small wheel, and Begode is still the only one that makes a very, very small wheel.
It's
Children
fine.
could use, you could use to like go around the block. It's a very different experience to ride an
And-
11-inch wheel.
Plus, it gives you the Borderland little. Oh, what's that guy's name? That Borderland character.
But
I don't know which one.
I don't know.
We'll look it up later.
But it's like the only wheel that's an 84 volt that is new. That no one's complaining that it's an old.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Right? No one has. But imagine if they made the M10-4
134.
134.
It al-
70 kilometers an hour on an 11-inch wheel.
It already has 57 free speed.
Yeah.
It's very quick.
And there's that
57
video.
you can
Wait,
do,
there's
like,
that video that could go
40.
45 on it.
Yeah.
There's a guy that did 45 on the video.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not. If anyone's ever ridden the M10-3, you'll know that that wheel is fun because it's very engaging. It pushes you around due to the road surfaces.
Yeah.
So very fun wheel. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
It's beating the T4 in my list of like.
Yeah.
It's super exciting. I've already pre-ordered one,
Cool.
and I can't wait to go back to China and get my hands on it. But
Nice.
Yeah.
Right. I think that sums it up nicely.
Buy it.
Now,
Buy it.
Buy everything.
now we have.
Don't buy everything. Don't buy the Commander Pro, but buy it.
Now we have the Begode EX30. Or should we first talk about
Let's talk about the Master Pro.
Master, because that was chronologically.
Sure. Let's talk about the Master.
Master Pro and X.
Which one? Which Master?
Master Pro and Master Pro X.
I think you're talking
Or
about
was
them
it Master,
together.
Master
They're
Pro?
basically the
Yeah,
same.
yeah,
wheel.
So they're basically the same wheel.
22
the
inches.
difference, 22 inches, 134 volt architecture. So you have and
The biggest battery we've ever seen in a wheel.
the biggest battery. So with 3,600 watt hours on your Veteran Sherman Max, you can realistically obtain, like as long as you're not too light and not too heavy, about 120 kilometers. So
I did
with
140.
140.
Yeah.
Easy.
Easy.
So 120 to 140 with 4,800 watt hours, you can now realistically do 200 kilometers.
Yeah.
Well, that guy in Thailand or whatever, he just posted, he did 200 kilometers riding at a 38 kilometer per hour average,
What?
which is ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people think that's slow though.
So that's 10.
But that's realistically
No,
fast. Average.
38 average is fast.
is
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
very fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, super exciting.
How
Fast.
many lumens? 1,000 for the.
Nah, that's.
I think
Don't look at
that rider
Is that 10 or 1,000?
it doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. It's not pointing in the right direction.
And it's not the right lumens.
No.
But it's super exciting. So it will be like the most long range ass, super quick suspension wheel ever made.
Yeah, and the guy who tested it too weighs like 85 kilos, so he's not even lightweight, right?
So
we-
Master X is 3,600. Just to be clear, Master X is 3,600 watt hours, and Master Pro is 4,800 watt hours, and that's the only difference.
And we
Yes.
already had a cutout on it, sadly. So El Unicycle.
Sadly? Is it sadly?
It is
I mean, he was
sadly.
pushing the boundaries though.
It's not sadly, Adam.
It's not
think
really
he
sad.
wanted
He
to
wanted
test
to. He wanted to hit the limit.
He wanted to hit 100 kilometers an hour. I don't know if he wanted to hit the limits.
No, he said 100 plus.
But the point is, the Monster Pro did 94, 100 volt wheel, 18 MOSFETs.
Yeah.
This with 24, 134 volts, cut out at like 100
Plus.
103 or 2.
They don't know the actual number, do they?
I don't know. I think it's around 100.
It said 100.
So-
It said like 100 plus.
Yeah, 100 plus.
But it always sucks if someone falls. So yeah, I hope you get better soon.
Again,
El
no
Unicycle.
stats.
Yeah.
Never happened.
But there's always going to be someone who's going to push the wheel to its absolute limit
Yeah.
just to
So
find
you
out where the
can't- you
limit
can't be
is.
sad about that. I don't know. If
I can be sad
I hope
about
he
the
feels
pain.
better. I hope he feels better, but he literally did it for.
For science.
He did it for clout probably, and he did it for science. Sure.
Yes.
But
But the main part of that video, though, is how well the wheel withstood the accident. That wheel bounced
if
around.
we find a picture of that, let's put it up
Yeah.
here for people because I
Yeah,
haven't
the
actually seen
wheel
it,
was
but
pretty much undamaged.
Yeah, like it lost the front of the seat
Yeah.
where the screen was.
From what I could see on that crash, though, it like didn't like do the tumble.
Oh, it did.
Where-
If you watch the
tumble,
headlights,
vertical tumble?
Yeah.
you see headlight, taillight, headlight, taillight,
Yeah.
headlight, taillight.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
But it held up really well.
You compare that to the master crash of Jimmy Chang,
Yeah.
and that wheel just got obliterated.
So essentially, it's the master. It's essentially the master, but bigger.
Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the T4 is the master smaller. The Master Pro is bigger.
We
I
have
don't even know
And-
I don't even know the T4 is even should be called a master smaller because it's a 100 volt architecture.
Yeah.
It's just a design. Just design
Good design,
aspect wise.
yes.
Like yeah.
It's the Master Minus.
And dude, I just cannot wait. The T4, the Master, and the Master Pro just side by side. It looks so nice. It's like
Coming soon.
You're gonna buy everything. God,
Yeah,
it'll be
but
fun.
this wheel, exciting. Big
Exciting.
wheel.
I'm
Begode
not- yeah.
pushing the boundaries again, making sure that they are, again, the fastest, the biggest battery, all of that. So, yeah.
So they didn't need to release the Master Pro, but they released the Master X for what reason?
Because people were complaining that the Master Pro is too heavy. But in my opinion, if you're going to save a couple $100 just to save 4 kilos and you lose a third of your battery, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah,
If you're going to go that route, I'd rather buy the EX30.
of course.
That thing, when like we don't even have all the information on the EX30 yet, but just that one picture with with like the 6 specs on it, it piques my interest.
Yeah.
So that wheel was just, I think, released 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah, we can just slide into the subject. Yeah, the EX30.
EX30.
2 or 3 days ago.
So it looks like the Master, but
A
more
Master chonk.
Inside joke. But yeah, so it's like, as you guys can tell by the image, it's like the Master, but just with more aggressive cuts.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And it's not actually released. It's
Maybe more
releasing in
aggressive
October,
cut-offs.
right?
In November.
In November, wow.
Yeah.
So they released this as a reactionary thing to what? To what will be launched? What's it comparable to?
I think it's almost comparable to the Sherman S and Commander Pro in a way.
Yeah.
V13, yeah.
Because some people were concerned about the 22-inch wheel size on the Master Pro. Mm-hmm. So this is supposedly a 20-inch wheel, so it fights directly with the Sherman S. Mm-hmm. The only thing that really, really excites me, though, which I was very surprised about, was the use of the C40 motor.
Yeah.
So the C40 motor coming back into play, which for those of you who are not familiar with the motor codes, the C40 motor was initially announced in the EX.
In the EX, yeah.
And it is a 17-inch hub motor, which means that on the EX, although it's a 20-inch wheel, there's no spokes on the rim. So it looks similar to like a V12 rim. Some people in the group were asking actually for the C40 motor. And so for them to release the C40 motor was kind of a curveball.
Yeah. And what's the, sorry, just for people, what's the high torque motor?
C38.
And what's the high speed motor?
C30.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
So this is even more high torque than high torque.
C30 and C38, those are the most common ones that we use.
Yeah. But supposedly it has more torque than the Master.
I mean, it has 36 MOSFETs instead of 24.
And it has 4,000 watts instead of 3,500.
like,
this could be just like a racing teleporting machine.
Is it me, or is it like Begode's pushed the bar when they released the Master Pro?
Yeah.
When they released the Master
X, and then they're just like going all the way here, and then everyone's still here.
They just make their own competition.
Other people got a little bit closer, and then when they got a little bit closer again, Begode was like, "We're just gonna go all the way
to the top."
They're probably gonna rest for the next 5 years again.
Yeah. We'll see the same design for the next 5 years, like the MSP days.
I wouldn't mind.
Probably.
The wheels do look a whole lot better. I think this
design
will withstand time, just like the RS
modular design. Yeah. So yeah, this wheel is super exciting.
Yes, that does look super exciting. But they released this wheel like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Well, announced.
Quote unquote.
So it's good. We didn't record this video earlier.
But then there's no spec sheet, no official spec sheet, and there's no official weight.
Yeah. Albert really wants to know the weight.
I really want to know what this weight's going to be.
He can't wait for it.
Okay.
All right, Begode K6.
Is that
I think that's it with the wheels. Yeah,
that's it
with the wheels.
Yeah.
So what are we most excited? I just like to round up all the wheels before we get to the K6. For me, I'll go first. M104 all the way up. EX30, Master Pro. I like the Master Pro, but I don't need that range. I'm not a range rider. I'd rather get to where I need to ride and then ride that. You know, riding downtown to like out towards where I would like to ride isn't an easy task to do. It's unsafe.
Yeah.
So I don't need that much battery. I like the agility. So that's where I am. Actually, maybe the V13 for the third place, but yeah, and then Sherman S would be fourth.
Okay.
But you could say I'm like very into Begode's new wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they released 6 new wheels, and everybody else released 1.
Yeah. What about you guys? What do you guys?
Albert, you want to go first?
You go first.
Yeah. All right. For me, actually, on first place, it would be the Sherman S. Just because I'm curious if they can make another solid wheel like Sherman
After the Abrams.
Yeah, after the Abrams fiasco. If they can make something water resistant and just that works, and then probably after that would be the EX30 just for the sheer performance brutality. I would be very curious to ride. T4 probably after that because as I said might become the next most popular wheel for good reason probably, and then Master Pro for the range. I love long range wheels and I love to have more parallel packs in my wheels, so that's very exciting. Probably after that I'm not that excited about the M104, so I'll put the V13 over it, M104, and then the Commander, which I'm least excited about.
Albert?
For me, I would say the EX30. because I want to see what that C40 motor can do at 134 volts. But the one thing that I forgot to mention was in their little preview that they came out with, they actually put that the motor was IP rated.
Oh yeah, IP65.
Yeah. So that's a first for Begode. So they're listening, and I wonder if the rest of the wheel could be IP rated.
But Chinese IP rating.
Hey, it's better than no IP rating.
Hey, is it actually an IP rating, or are they just writing it? That's what I'm saying.
That's a good question.
As someone who's worked in the industry, I'll tell you that, like, not all IP ratings are actually IP ratings.
You know how many
Show me the document. I want to see the freaking document. It better come with my wheel. I want it in my box.
The V13 needs to come with it
too. Put it
too.
up on the wall. Yeah. Frame it. Yeah.
So I'd say the EX30 would be number one for me. Master Pro for what it can do. 18-inch wheels, 20-inch wheels with suspension's already comfortable. I can't imagine how much more comfortable a 22-inch wheel with suspension would be. Mm-hmm. Also, I want to see whether they've improved on their suspension between the Master and the Master Pro. The Master X, I'll just kind of dump in with the Master Pro because they're basically the same wheel.
Yeah.
I would say for third is maybe like the M10-4 because it's cute, unfortunately. And it's a perfect wheel just to chuck around, you know? But yeah, the V13 and the Commander Pro at the very bottom. Mm-hmm. Sherman S would be kind of interesting to see, but it is iterative in nature, so I'm not too excited. It's like an iPhone 5 versus 5S kind of deal. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that kind of rounds it off.
K6, Begode, 146 volt. That's the reaction.
Your voice waves knocked it over.
Have you guys tried? Have you tried the K4?
I didn't try the K4.
I have not.
Did you see the video recently where I raced a Suron?
I saw that.
Yeah.
At the start line, he beat me because he had obviously a bigger tire. But when I was also trying to see how fast I could go, just stupid, just twist the throttle all the way to the end. But if I did gently off, I could be on par with him off the line. He was on a 60 volt KO motor Suron, which is it's not a stock Suron, it is a modded Suron, but it's not like the modded Suron. But yeah, K6 is, so I think we should talk about K6. I've been on the K4 and the K5. The biggest issue with the K4 and K5 is that the front fork was straight down and it was too far back. So essentially what happened was if you pulled the front brake really hard, you would front flip. It's like a feature.
I guess.
Over the handlebar feature.
It's like, when jet pilots just blast off their air seat. It's like that.
Or even when planes go up and then they stall and come down.
But, so they fixed it. They have a new screen. It looks tidier.
Wait. They didn't fix it with the new screen. They have a new geometry. It's like a bigger wheelbase now and the fork is more angled.
Yeah, no, but the screen is bigger now as well. So it's like you don't have to look at this fucking tiny thing.
Jack.
There's a lot of good things that they fixed on it.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it.
I'm actually curious how much it supports as output AC/DC. Because it'd be a really cool way to kind of bring it around and charge other people's things and, like a good road traveling scooter.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm not, as exciting as that scooter is, the part that excites me is not the speed or not the motors or whatever. It is just the fact that they're doing 146 volt architecture.
Yeah, same here.
I mean,
it's crazy. That's, you have to keep in mind that usual e-scooters, but the e-mopeds, the new scooters or whatever they're called, Gogoro, they are usually 60 volt.
60
or
volt or
72
yeah.
tops. And here to have pretty much twice the voltage. And, we've seen the K4, K5, how fast they are. This will be
my video if you want to learn more about
check it out.
Check out my video on the K4.
This will be probably super nuts. I mean, we've already seen one video where it just jumps to 100 kilometers an hour.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This scooter is so much fun. I really like riding this scooter. I'm not gonna lie. It's exhilarating. I hope that someone buys enough of them where we can have a go-kart race of K6s.
That'd be kind of cool. You go to the go-kart track?
Yeah, because you're low to the ground and you can actually turn really tight now. And you're kind of leaning. It's like a pocket bike, but more comfortable, right? So instead of scrunched over, you're like this and you're
it's like a Harley Davidson pocket bike.
But I think at this point, this thing should need a driver's license. I know.
I mean, the Wolf King GT is also really fast.
Why
right?
you gotta be
The
like
same-
the legal
I know.
guy? Why you gotta be like the government?
I know.
Yeah, we should regulate everything.
I just say,
Hey, look at that
and I know
headlight.
I've been also riding fast scooters. I just think that this is dangerously fast.
We'll get to it when we get to it. I'm not gonna like push for it, nor am I against it. Is always my
Gotcha.
standpoint. But K6, I'm gonna buy one too.
Exciting.
I'm gonna buy one too. Just
So many purchases. You have to.
no need for it at all. But riding.
This is purely a want.
If you go up Cypress on the K6, oh my gosh, they'll drift down the mountain. Oh my gosh.
They'll drift.
On both wheels.
Not, it won't break. It'll just drift.
Or
It's
front
hard
flip.
it's hard to stop. I hope there's enough space on the front fork to put a bigger tire on. I would like to put like a, I don't know, what is the K6 tire?
I think
Probably like 11 inch.
11 inch, six,
I'd love to put like a
6
13,
and a half
14
rim.
or whatever and go up and
Yeah.
try to get more grip. But yeah.
So that's that. All the news from exciting wheel companies. Thank you so much for coming up, Jack and Albert.
Yeah, no problem.
And yeah, maybe we'll do some video like this again sometimes because Jack is flying tomorrow back to China.
Tonight.
Tonight.
Technically tonight, yeah.
Back to China. So that's that.
This is my first and last cameo on the wrong way.
I wouldn't say it's a cameo. Or is it a cameo? It's
I
like
don't know.
guest appearance?
Guest appearance.
Guest appearance, yeah.
Right.
His last feat, Electric Dreams.
Yeah. No more feet on this channel.
Yes.
No more Jack feet.
Yeah. But
So
so sad.
I guess if you're still here, leave a like on the video. Subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you
And subscribe to Adam's OnlyFans very soon.
in the next video. See you soon.